to stop by on the way from Ubud to the northern area, and secondly, there are absolutely no tourists here.
You know, I'd rather come here and grow fucking chilies, you know?
Fucking chilies!
Why do we choose water beds? The water itself is a great media to deliver a sound and a vibrations.
Шел сюда без ожиданий. Но вот я хочу увидеть просто рассвет.
We are practically sleeping outside, hearing all the sounds of nature. Are you growing rice here?
Do you drink wine sometimes?
No, a little bit.
Cheers too.
So, in the previous video we visited the entire Bukit Peninsula, including the areas of Nusa Dua and Uluwatu, and now we are heading to Canggu. And I suggest you check out Nuanu Creative City right away. It's much more interesting than the typical beach clubs of Canggu. Nuanu Creative City is a large-scale creative city on Bali's west coast, about 20 minutes from Canggu. It combines art, technology, education and nature. The name Nuanu comes from the Balinese Nuanu, which means in the process. Why it's interesting? Firstly, because it's an entire city. You can walk around here, it's kind of like a cultural center, the only one of its kind, in my opinion, on Bali. It's also a really good attempt to integrate nature and technology. It's AI and art in the middle of the jungle. For example, these heads are an AI projection called Earth Sentinels. It's an art installation reminding us about the balance between humans and nature. On the grounds there is plenty of entertainment. For example, a farm with alpacas, Luna Beach Club, one of the most popular in Bali. They often hold events here and you usually need to buy a separate ticket to enter. It's all very beautiful here, with lights shimmering everywhere. I recommend coming around 5 p.m. and staying until 9 or 10 p.m. to see all the illumination. There are various workshops, art objects, installations, nice restaurants, and even the Cave Club, something new after beach clubs. Right in the middle of restaurant we see crystal, and here we see like touch the crystal after dark and make a wish. Let's make a wish. You can explore Canggu's nightclub life on your own, and meanwhile we are suddenly moving on to Ubud to see the monkeys. I should remind you that I wanted to show my mom the main parts of the island while avoiding the most touristy places and crowds of foreigners, but still, Monkey Forest is the signature spot of Ubud. For those who came from Europe and are used to seeing cats and dogs on the streets, welcome to Balinese reality. Here you'll see monkeys just as often. They really feel like the owners of this island. So this is definitely a must-have if it's your first time in Ubud. And now the second spot, the rice terraces. You can see them in many places, but I'll show you my hidden gem, where tourists practically never set foot. We came to Kajeng rice field. Why do I recommend this location? Kajeng rice fields, this is a picturesque, authentic place located in the central Ubud area. They start right from Kajeng Street and stretch through traditional Balinese villages, so it's not really a tourist attraction, but rather a part of everyday local life. Wherever there are no tourists, that's where I go. Let's see how the farmers walk in the fields here. Hello! Are you growing rice here? Enjoying this fresh air. Breathe in, breathe out. There is also a unique trail with inscriptions. At the beginning of the path, paved with concrete tiles, people leave names, dates and messages. It creates a special atmosphere, like you are walking through the pages of a traveler's diary. Of course, I got curious, why do people leave their names, dates and so on there? So I asked ChatGPT. It turns out that in the early 20s, locals started a project to replace the old road with a new walkway made of fresh concrete tiles. To raise money, they came up with an unusual idea. Anyone could buy a tile and leave their own message, their own mark. Of course, for a donation, mostly as a way to support the local community and infrastructure, anyone, tourist or local, could order a tile with an engraving or drawing. In the end, the street turned into an art object and a living memorial gallery, like a diary of memories. The philosophy of this place is to leave a mark and to connect travelers from all over the world. As a marketer, I find it interesting to see how this art object grew completely organically, without any marketing or tickets. And here's a funny shot. Remember in Harry Potter there was the shrunken head in the night bus? Well, look, this reminded me of it so much. What does this head mean? They are faces. Faces. Они не знают английского. Okay, no English. So let's leave this as our little mystical mystery. But here's another mystical mystery we'll uncover today, because we are heading to the most magical restaurant in Ubud.
Немножко более оживленно.
Более оживленно,
да?
чем у нас, да. And as you stroll through the streets of Ubud, you'll notice a huge difference from the Uluwatu area. I'd say Ubud is more authentic, not for everyone, and has its own soul. So, the magical restaurant Merlin, it's not just a place to eat, but a whole concept built on a combination of magic art and mysticism. Merlin is a mighty wizard. He is a collective character inspired by Celtic myths, folklore and chronicles. Merlin supposedly helped King Arthur ascend to the throne of Britain. According to legend, he could predict the future, control the elements, shape-shift, summon fog or disappear. He is often portrayed as a hermit or druid living in the forest. I can open this book, but only one time. And make a wish. Nothing false will survive, nothing true will perish. What's inside the restaurant? A semi-dark interior, candles, amulets, and on the first floor they sell magical stones. All the waiters wear cloaks, and there are two types of menus. One where you pick a random dish and they bring you something magical, and another with the usual familiar food where you know exactly what you ordered.
В общем, очень хорошая здесь была сангрия. Вот меня только сейчас отпускает. И, в принципе, очень хорошая была еда.
The idea is really cool, but in my opinion there are too many rough edges and the execution is a bit superficial. It's fun to visit once, check it out. For a place to stay in Ubud, I chose this eco villa. I'll show you what makes it special. Еще я очень люблю, вот когда есть островок. Это мое любимое на кухне. Здесь слышны все звуки природы, потому что стены, их нет. То есть, вот там улица. And look at these straw walls. The walls here are made of straw. So we are practically sleeping outside, hearing all the sounds of nature. Мне очень нравится. Очень красивая вилла, и стоит она всего $60 в день. То есть за такую виллу, мне кажется, в Чангу можно было бы отдавать все $200-300 за сутки. And now I will show you from outside. Easily flammable wall. Surprisingly, I fell asleep really quickly and didn't wake up at all from the sounds of nature. Honestly, I'd live in this villa if I chose Ubud as my base. The magic doesn't end with just one restaurant. We are going even deeper into Ubud, to the Pyramids of Chi. Pyramids of Chi is a retreat center and a space for meditation and sound ceremonies. Here you'll see two large pyramids. It's believed that the pyramid shape amplifies energy, vibrations, and the depth of meditation. The philosophy of this place is to create a space where sound, shape, and energy help a person relax, let go of stress, and reset. This time we came for an LSV session. That's light, sound, and vibration. It's a special session that includes light stimulation, flashing lights blinking in a certain rhythm, sound, deep meditative sound waves, and vibration. You lie on a bed filled with water. The sound travels through your body via vibrations in the water.
So anyway, why do we choose water beds? The water itself is a great media to deliver a sound and vibrations, and it's best, and also it's compatible with our body, since our body made up 75% of water. And by just simply lying down here on this water bed, this will give you instant relief, instant relaxation, and instant comfort. Because this will recall the prenatal life memory, which is inside of our mother's womb.
The whole idea is deep relaxation and slipping into an altered state of consciousness through the synchronization of light, sound, and vibration. Honestly, I didn't like this particular session because the flashes and sudden sounds literally irritate the brain, unlike beautifully ringing Tibetan bowls in a sound healing, for example. And when the water under you keeps vibrating for 2 hours, it's more distracting than relaxing. But that's just my personal take. What I really recommend is sound healing instead. That's genuinely amazing. Our next stop is a waterfall located between central Ubud and the island's north. 500 steps down, 500 steps up. I wouldn't say this is the most stunning waterfall in Bali because the number one spot probably goes to Sekumpul for tourists or maybe Kantolampo, but I might be off with the stats because Bali has an insane number of beautiful waterfalls. We chose this one because the location was convenient for us to stop by on the way from Ubud to the northern area, and secondly, there are absolutely no tourists here and no locals charging you an entrance fee, so there are no lines to stand in. But still, this waterfall is really beautiful. Our next stop is a forest in Bali, a pine forest.
На Бали есть лес. Но ты же видишь, что есть сосны. Ты думаешь, это завезли?
You might ask, how are there pines in the tropics? Actually, Bali doesn't have natural pine forests. All these places are artificially planted and protected areas. These forests were planted by local village forestry communities. Their goal was to stop slope erosion and improve the microclimate. Such forests help attract rain. That's why Bali's highland areas often use these plantings. Then locals realized tourists come to the north too, so they turned it into an ecotourism zone. They set up swings, bridges, photo spots among the pines, and started earning money from tourists while carefully preserving nature.
Культурненько так.
Welcome to Kintamani, my favorite area with volcano views. I already have a video about the volcano on my Russian language channel, you can check it out, the link in the description. I just wanted to show you this view, it's so beautiful here. This is the second most important temple in Bali, Pura Ulundanu Batur. It's dedicated to the goddess of Lake Batur. On Bali, the attitude towards nature, especially the ocean and volcanoes, is closely tied to Balinese Hinduism. Balinese people live by the concept of 3 worlds: the holy upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. Volcanoes like Agung, Batur are the most sacred places. Higher gods and ancestral spirits live there. The higher the mountain, the purer and closer to the god it is. The ocean is the boundary of chaos. There is where spirits of the lower world live, evil or wild ones. So the ocean is dangerous, but it also purifies. It's believed that the sea can take away negative energy. The earth for Balinese people is the middle level between the sacred peaks and the chaotic ocean. I'm adding here a video I shot about 2 years ago. If you ever climb one of the volcanoes, you can start with Mount Batur. You won't regret it. The clouds should clear up later, even if everything is covered at sunrise. Ну что, восхождение можно считать успешным. Я уже спустилась, жду ребят. Будем смотреть, какие у нас фотки получились, видео.
Что, охуенная история.
Я шел сюда без ожиданий. Но вот я хочу увидеть просто рассвет. Сколько длится рассвет?
Я думаю, уже все.
By the way, I want to remind you not to hike alone. Hike with a guide, because you can lose your way or fall. People usually climb at night to avoid the heat and catch the sunrise. We made our way to Sidemen with the Italo-French guy you saw in the Soul episode. By the way, check it out on my
Spasibo.
channel too.
That's what I can say.
In Italian language.
In Italian language, I can say that we speak a lot with gestures. So looking
Mamma
at it,
mia.
looking at this incredible, background, we could say, wow, it's bellissimo.
Bellissimo. In Indonesian.
Okay, we need to do it again. Siapa nama kamu? Nanda. Saya Rama.
Why is Sidemen interesting?
Hello,
Here
boss.
you can see real, living rice terraces without the crowds you'll find in Tegalalang. Many travelers compare Sidemen to what Ubud was 30 years ago. People come here when they're tired of Canggu or Ubud, fewer cafes, less social life, more nature and wild villages. And we can start from here. You just need to pay here. And this is our way. They're taking shower and wash their things right here. This is what real Balinese life looked many years
Second
ago.
chance anymore?
Yes.
You know, I'd rather come here and grow fucking chilies, you know?
Fucking chilies.
What else do you want? Like, you eat rice, chili?
Yeah, you just don't need anything.
And one more, last spot with a similar vibe, Munduk. Here you can switch on your adventure mode, rent a campervan, stop by a designated area and meet the sunrise. Then you can travel around and visit some waterfalls.
Perfect morning in the middle of the island.
Do you drink wine sometimes?
No, a little bit.
Cheers to.
Cool. So that's the packet list of Bali spots and areas. Watch the first part on my channel also. If I get my Schengen visa, the next video will be from Italy and France. And I hope I'll already start editing videos from Cape Town. I'm sure there will be a million of them. Please give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. Then more people will see it and I'll have more motivation to film my next trips. Goodbye, пока-пока!